All right. Um, we'll call this meeting to order at 4 o'clock today. And first of all, I'd like to recognize President Mary Johnston, who I was told is still on the call and who could kind of give us a little welcome to get us started.
Thank you, Sonia. And thank you, Camilla, for scheduling these region meetings. I've been on the two previously, and they've been sharing a lot of information about IMC and what we've been up to since May. But I hope everyone is doing well and staying healthy and safe. And we're all hanging in there, doing the best that we can. But I just want to invite you and strongly encourage you to register for the IMC annual conference that's going to be in Grand Rapids next May. And we are going to be there. We're going to be in person. And it will be our 75th anniversary. So we will be celebrating big time. That's a huge milestone for our organization. And I just want to remind everyone, we are going to be as a 5-day conference. The past 4 or 5 years, we switched to a 4-day conference, but Grand Rapids is going to be a 5-day conference. So we have extra time to celebrate and be together, which we have really missed. So I hope you all register. The preliminary program is out there. Register for your hotel and register for the conference. And I will see you all next May. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. I would also like to recognize Karen Lee, who's on the phone. She's the IMC Communication Coordinator. And we really appreciate all of her assistance in getting us to where we're at right this minute. I need to let you know that, and I've already said this twice, it's kind of redundant for me now, but for those of you who don't know, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in May. And I say that to say the short version, that I have been missing in action with chemo and everything. So I want to thank Camilla for everything that she's done in stepping up to the plate and just kind of taking the wheel by the horn by the wheel, or the wheel by whatever you take, the initiative to make sure that nothing has slipped through the cracks. I'm doing better, and I wanted to participate in this particular meeting. So we do recognize that your time is valuable, and some of you may have meetings tonight. So we're trying to keep the meeting to 30 minutes. And I'm going to have to sneak off in a little while because I have a 4:30 meeting with my mayor. Camilla will be joining the meeting when that's time. But thank you for being on the call and participating. I guess I do need to remind the Alabama clerks that I will be rolling off as one of the region 3 directors in May of next year. So it is their turn to select a replacement for me. That said, if you know anybody who might be interested, I think the applications are due in January for consideration, and all that's on the IMC website. And just kind of be thinking and getting the word out that that we need a district director for Region 3, and it is Alabama's responsibility. So that said, I'll turn the meeting over to Camilla, and she will give you the IMC mid-year meeting update.
Thank you so much, Sonia. It is so good to see your faces, and we're so used to seeing one another in person, but I'm so appreciative of all of you joining our call today. This is our 3rd one. We met with Florida earlier, and then North Carolina and South Carolina, and so now we have Georgia and Alabama. And I will be passing through Georgia and Alabama about 7 o'clock in the morning as I head to the annual meeting there in Huntsville. So those of you from Alabama, I look forward to seeing you then and participating with you. After the cancellation of our annual meeting in May in St. Louis, the board of directors were still on the job, and we met via Zoom for the first time on the actual dates that we would have been meeting if we were there in St. Louis, and it all worked out great. During our incoming board meeting, the oath of offices were given to President Johnston, to President-elect Sherry Pierce of Valdez, Alaska, to the Vice President and one of our fellow Region 3 members, Pamela Smith, who was with Sanibel. She's now with Lee County, so we're excited to have someone from Region 3 on the executive committee. And immediate past President Lana McPherson of DeSoto, Kansas. Our mid-year meeting was recently conducted via Zoom and in person in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And as Mary said, that is the home of our 75th annual conference this coming May. And having traveled there and met in person, I just have to tell you, I could have not asked for better accommodations, whether it was the flight, and I did fly into ATL and up to Grand Rapids. The flight attendants, everyone was just so professional, sanitized. I mean, it was just a really good experience. And the hotel, I could have not asked for anything better. Everything was sanitized there, and you could contact them if you needed anything, but basically you were left alone, and it's just a good experience. And I spoke with Chris Shelby yesterday and confirmed with him that those of us that went, he's had no reports of any medical issues from anyone. So we believe that to be a success and a great way to continue moving forward for our annual meeting. And at this time, we have 120 rooms that have already been reserved. So if you have not signed up yet, we encourage you to go ahead and register and get your reservations for the hotel in May. During our meeting there, first of all, we conducted a leadership training on Friday. And for those of you who have participated with me back in February at Georgia, we did Sully for our training as an opinion dialogue, and that went well. On Saturday, we conducted our board meeting, and here are some of the key highlights from that meeting. The board approved a $5 membership dues increase for full members, additional full members, and associate members. The anticipated increase will begin with the first batch of invoices coming out January of 2021. We have not had an increase in 3 years, and under our current circumstances, we believe that it was probably best to go ahead and increase it at this time. So we hope you're understanding of that, and we felt very confident in making that recommendation and approval. We were directed the Education and Professional Development Committee to review a new education endeavor beyond the MMC program. If you remember, back in 2019, a task force was put together. They met in California at the IIMC offices and created and presented recommendations in helping to move beyond the MMC and to extend our certification programs. We did not have an opportunity in May to review it. We asked for an opportunity in November, hoping we could all be together. So we reviewed the program then. We also received an additional recommendation from Region 9, which is our California, Oregon, Washington, Alaska states. And so we have provided the recommendations from the task force and from Region 9 to the Education and Professional Development Committee and requested that they review those programs and recommendations and then to report back to the board of directors. Back in May, the board agreed to begin the process of conducting virtual Athenian dialogues. And for those of you who know, I'm a facilitator, so I was a little antsy. You know how animated we get when we're conducting our live in-person dialogues, but they have been very successful, and I have become very positive about the experience. While I love in-person, the virtual are working well, and we're strongly encouraging, again, everybody has to read the book ahead of time. And also in the process, they have to show their face and they have to participate in the process. So we're still working through some of those bugs, but that's what we are encouraging and requiring participants to do in participating in virtual Athenian dialogues. At our meeting in November, we extended those virtual dialogues through June 30th of 2021. So if you are interested in conducting any, that are virtual. You're free to do so, and then we will review that. I'm sure we'll be talking about it further in May. But just as a side note, it really does give you an opportunity to extend the program to other states and across the water. Back in October, I participated in one in Florida, and President Johnson had her assistant clerk in that class. And we also had individuals that were from Connecticut, from Montana to Alaska. And so that was a bit overwhelming to participate with so many different people from different states. And also we're working with our international board members right now to improve their participation in the program as well. So if you're interested, look into additional virtual Athenian Dialogue opportunities that will be made available to you. The board directed the policy committee to create a new policy regarding, first of all, an IIMC employee recognition program for our staff, to create a new process for an annual business meeting if it cannot be held in person, and to clarify language regarding retired members definition in our Constitution and in our policies for the board. We have one outstanding constitutional item that was supposed to be taking place in May, and I'm assuming it will be on the agenda for Grand Rapids, and that is amending the Constitution to remove the requirement of having a written letter of support for a member from his or her association to become a region director. We thought it would generate more interest in individuals running by removing that prerequisite. So it has not been voted on yet, but it should come to the membership at our annual meeting in May. The board approved the 2020 budget, making it the 12th consecutive year that the IIMC budget has finished with positive results. We approved the 2021 budget. It is scheduled to end right now with a deficit. However, the board directed the staff to review the budget and to amend what they could to help to end the year without being at a loss or in a deficit. We also reviewed and approved the 2019 annual CPA partial audit. And also, some of you may be familiar with Dr. Jane Long. She was serving as our Director of Professional Development, and we received her resignation and in around May. And we are looking at this time at hiring a Director of Professional Development, and we hope to have someone on board by July 2021 or after the annual 2021 conference. The meeting also focused on managing options for the 2021 conference to provide educational programs for Region 10 and 11 via virtual platforms to allow them to be able to participate in the conference. We missed having them in person, and at this point in time with COVID-19, they're unable to get into the country, and we want to make sure that they're able to participate virtually. Again, with everything going on, we have maintained our membership and our membership engagement. So we're really excited about that and very appreciative of the staff and all of their hard work in the process. And that's an update sort of on our May meeting as a board of directors and on the mid-year meeting that we just held in November in Grand Rapids. Sonia? If you will unmute yourself, ma'am.
Sorry about that. If there are any questions on the mid-year update, you can feel free to ask Camilla or use the chat box where it is private. If not, I'll briefly just talk about the, excuse me, 2021 annual update, which of course, President Mary and Camilla touched on, but I haven't been to the office yet, but I was told that most people have received a mail out or an email or something regarding registration. So I would encourage you to get in on the early bird registration and not have to pay the full conference amount. when Camilla get in, thank you, Camilla. That's what it looks like that was mailed out. When she gets into her reminders, she'll talk to you also about scholarship opportunities for the upcoming annual conference. And like our president said, we are all expecting to be there. However, if there is any little glitch or that we know won't happen, and that for some reason the hotel tells us that their state cannot have those large groups, I can rest assure you that IMC is doing everything possible to have a virtual annual conference. It won't be the same, but we all can still get together. But we'll keep our fingers crossed that everything works itself out. Again, let me remind the Alabama clerks that there is an opening for the region director in May of next year. And if you're not interested, then maybe you know somebody who's interested. The information is on the IMC website. This is important, ladies and gentlemen, so need you to spread the word for me. And with that said, I'm gonna have to sneak out and go meet with my mayor. But thank you everybody for participating, and thank you, President Johnson, for all your comments, and y'all take care and stay safe.
Thank you, Sonia. We will see you very soon. At this time, we want to give you an update on the Region 3 conference. And I did receive an update yesterday, but we just got through with the same phone call with North Carolina and South Carolina, so we were able to get a little bit more information for you. We have posted a save the date, and it is a virtual conference. I will tell you that having participated in their annual meeting in August, I did the closing session for them. And I kept my eye on the number of people participating because I just knew it would drop at the end of the day. And we finished up that conference with 200 plus people online. So I say that to tell you that I am very confident in North Carolina doing a great job virtually to present the sessions that we have. At this time, they are still working on the agenda. Today would be the day that we would be sending out our quarterly newsletter, but I'm holding up on that right now, hoping that we will have more information from them next week so that we can include that in the quarterly newsletter for you. The dates for that are February the 17th through the 19th. At this time, our practice is to usually conduct our business meeting on that Friday, and they are looking at another opportunity so that possibly it would just be the Wednesday and the Thursday. So they will let me know more about that as they work through their agenda. I do not have a price or cost at this time. They are estimating $100 with it being virtual, but that is not confirmed. But I told them we have some people with January, December budgets, and so as soon as we could get an update on that, I asked for an update on the fee. And I also asked for points and how much they would be turning into IMC as recommended points for the region meeting. The other part of this is we will be conducting an Athenian dialogue. This is our 3rd annual, so I'm so excited. Georgia, you started a good thing. Florida continued it up last year. This year, the Athenian Dialogue will be on Tuesday, February the 16th. And the book for that dialogue will be The Girls of Atomic City. This is the story of Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and the development of uranium that led towards the creation of the atomic bomb. The author is from Asheville, and so she's a North Carolina author. Her name's Denise Kiernan. So if you are really interested in participating in an Athenian dialogue, then I encourage you to keep your eyes out for that when the registration comes. It will be limited to 30 participants. It is available on Amazon. Please use that and make sure you've signed up for IIMC Foundation so we can get some funds back for that. And it is also available Audible I'm listening back through the Audible right now. So that is the only information I have for you right now regarding Region 3 Annual. But I do want you to know that I feel very confident that North Carolina will do a great job in presenting the conference. And I truly believe we will have a lot more people in attendance. As I shared earlier with someone, my deputy clerk and I cannot be out of the office at the same time. So this is an opportunity for her to participate when she would normally not be able to. So anybody you know, any assistants or deputies you have, we certainly do want to make this a successful event for Region 3 and for North Carolina and all the efforts they are going to through. Any questions regarding the Region 3 conference in February? Okay. Do we have any questions about any of the information we've provided so far, or any comments regarding that? This has been a challenging year for us. North Carolina was in the process of having to deal with the contract with the hotel, and thus the reason we have not been able to get the information any sooner. So they have been under constraints, but once that was finalized and they moved the hotel to a later conference a few years from now, things have started coming together. So we hope to have information about that for you next week.
Camilla, this is Joni. I came in a little bit late. Could you reiterate what you were talking about, not having the support of your district or to be able to participate in something? I might have misunderstood something. You had to get a letter from your,
Okay.
I
If you
apologize.
are, no, you're fine. We have an item that would have been on in the business meeting regarding our Constitution and the requirement of a region director. So when I decided I wanted to become a region director and run for region director, I had to obtain a letter of support from my state association. And from my experience, it would have made it very difficult for 2 or 3 of us to run, and we all 2 or 3 have to get that same letter.
Okay.
And the board supporting you and approving you for that. So the recommendation has been to remove that qualification. And so hopefully we can get more involvement and engagement from individuals who are interested, and they don't feel like, well, so-and-so got a letter, so how am I going to get a letter?
That makes sense.
That's just sort of that's my explanation. If I'm any different, Mary, please tell me. But hopefully it will make for a more competitive and more people be interested in running and participating.
That sounds logical.
Well, with any of our board of director members, even if you serve on a committee or anything of that nature, we want people engaged and involved in the process. And if you have to fight a little bit more for it, sometimes that makes you more energized to want to make a difference and be engaged and involved in the process. So that item should be coming up at our next annual meeting as a constitutional change that would be voted on at the annual meeting.
Okay, thanks a lot, Camilla. You look good.
Oh, well, thank you. I haven't put on the COVID-15. I've put on like the COVID-50, okay? So, but any other questions from anybody else at this time? Okay, very quickly, I do have a couple of reminders and then we will finish up this call. First of all, I want to remind you about the conference grants. Each region provides for 2 annual conference registration grants, and the deadline for applying for those are February the 12th of 2021. I have been very fortunate to receive one before, and it certainly does help from a financial standpoint. So I know I just received my invoice for the annual meeting, and that would have been a nice penny to be paid by IMC if you apply and you are chosen to receive one of those grants. So it does help you financially, and especially if you're trying to get more than one person from your office to attend. So I strongly encourage you to apply for that. It's a great incentive. CMC and MMC scholarships are again offered, and applications are open right now for those. March the 1st, 2021 is the deadline for those to be accepted. The amount available to recipients is $400, if you are working towards your CMC or your MMC. And the recipients will be selected in April for funding programs taking place June the 1st of 2021 through May 31st of 2022. So that is a great incentive as well. And also, it is time to complete your application to serve on one of our many committees, IMC committees. Applications are being accepted through January the 15th. It is the best way to become engaged and involved in your organization and to extend your network of your profession. And I know through time, I have made it a rule of thumb to serve on a board or commission, on a committee, maybe 2 years and then move to another, because it is a great way to learn about IMC by participating in the different committees that way. So we can't do it without you. It takes a lot of people to participate on these committees to help with the ideas, the networking, and to provide recommendations to the board for our consideration. So get involved, get engaged by completing an application and joining one of our committees. The last commercial and advertisement I have for you today is just a reminder to make sure you're getting your e-News Digest, which is our bi-monthly magazine. If you're not, then you need to see Karen. She's online with us. She's the go-to person for that. And also e-briefings. These are our weekly emails that provide you with updates of information that's taking place. And I also want to strongly encourage you to join our Facebook. If you haven't joined one of our pages, we have the International Institute of Municipal Clerks. And then we also have IIMC Region 3. And with the Region 3 page, that's where we congratulate those who are receiving their certifications. We push out information from IIMC to you from there. So we want to strongly encourage you to participate on those pages. And again, we do have our Region 3 newsletters that are sent out quarterly, and we hope to have the December one sent out to you by the end of next week. Again, I'm going to wait on the information coming from North Carolina so that we can get you everything that you need to know for our upcoming Region 3 conference. Any other questions, comments from anyone? Well, how many, just raise your hand, how many is Alabama that I see on here? Okay, I don't see any hands. Well, if you're one of these that I don't see a face for, I will see you within 24 hours or shorter time frame, and look forward to passing through Georgia to get there. Unless you have any questions of me, please continue to keep Sonia in your prayers because she is still rehabbing some. And I just appreciate her so much and her engagement and involvement through this whole process. And if you don't have any more comments, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And if I don't talk to you before December 25th, many blessings for a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year.
Camilla,
Thank y'all for joining us.
One raised hand.
We have one raised hand. I'm Alabama, somebody said. So I hope to see you very soon. And please make sure and come up to me and speak to me, Melissa. And we will see all the rest of you soon. I know February you have the Georgia conference. So I will be unable to attend because we have retreat that week for council, but I certainly will be missing you in my heart. So y'all have a good time then, and we'll see Alabama very shortly. So y'all have a great rest of the week. And President Mary, thank you so much for joining us today. And Karen, thanks again for all of your assistance.
You're very welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Everyone.